In other celeb news, we got the leak of a jail call between Mariah the scientist and Young Thug. So I already know what angle you're gonna take with this one, but I'll speak first. So, for background, even though y'all don't need background, basically, a jail call leaked between Mariah the scientist and Young Thug when she had a visit. Um, Obviously, he's in jail currently, unfortunately. But the angle I'm gonna take with this one, because I already know where you're gonna go with it, but
Yeah, you already know. I'm about to go in.
the angle I'm gonna take with this one is that aside from what we already know, what the judicial system is in America, and we know how corrupt police are, and judges are, and people in power, and people in law, and people in politics, and we know how all that works. People are gonna abuse their power. There's never any real consequences. Like we were just watching, what was the Netflix thing, American
American
Nightmare,
Nightmare.
where the chief of police is telling the lieutenant, or I think he was, to burn somebody that they thought was lying, but she really wasn't lying, and she actually got sexually assaulted multiple times, and
And
they thought,
kidnapped.
yeah, and kidnapped, and they thought she was lying, so they went on a press conference and accused her of lying when obviously that didn't happen.
And
And he
he probably
gets
still has a job.
he does, yeah, he still has his job.
And the lead detective got like cop of the year, the same year.
Yeah, and no charges come against these people. They're not going to be held liable for anything. That's just the way the law works in America. Unfortunately, it's not a due process. There's no such thing. Um, and we could go through a million examples of that. But further to that point, right? Like you don't see anybody else's jail calls being leaked or put out or anything at all. This is a private conversation between two individuals that's supposed to be secure and private, right? We can't just go log in and see everybody's jail calls and listen to what they're discussing and private information that they may be discussing. They could have been talking about family matters. They could have been talking about literally anything. Um, and they know that those calls are recorded in general for the
Yeah.
police. You can't say or do certain things
Yeah,
in
they're just
general
being
on the calls.
monitored.
So they're being monitored. They know that part.
Yeah.
But that's not consenting to the rest of the world hearing a private conversation between two people.
Yeah.
So the fact that these kind of things can leak and occur and then nothing negative is going to happen from that, the person's still going to have their job. Nobody cares. What probably happened is that TMZ and these different companies are so tapped in with everybody that they offer these people little $5,000, $2,000, $3,000. Give us information about this and we'll send you $5,000. We'll send you $10,000. We'll send you $20,000, whatever, for whatever news you can leak to them. And people and TMZ is so connected to they're on
Everything.
they're on they got direct lines with the police departments. If you ever wonder, like for people that don't know, if you ever wonder why the TMZ is never wrong about anything that they put out, and they're like one of the first people to always put stuff out, it's because they have a direct line with all of the parties that are involved in these different things. So if they need to get some information about somebody in jail or there's something in an investigation, they're connected with the police. They're connected with these different people because there's nothing, I don't think, illegal saying that the police aren't allowed to speak to the press. TMZ
Yeah.
is technically press.
And the thing is too, like, you know me, I watch a lot of crime stuff. So like the press really is the only communicative channel. Like the police don't have their own official net, like their official like press. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't have their own networks.
Because
Or
lots of
like,
times, like when I'm watching this crime stuff on YouTube, they say like, "Oh, I'm gonna reach out to so and so at News Nation because they probably have some information." Because like they know that the press gets information from
right.
the police, or they get information from people within, like different workers in the force, like that are getting maybe money, like you said, and
Yeah.
they're getting under the table money from the press.
Yeah, and that's like a known fact.
And
Like,
that's been the thing
right. So
forever.
probably what happened is somebody probably got hit up by TMZ. Yo, we'll send you $2,000 if you can get us a conversation that those two had together. Like I guarantee you, that's literally what happened.
Or they were
And
like, whenever something funny or juicy comes up,
send it to
send us
us.
because they gotta watch it anyway.
And you know, people are in, like, not everybody is in a comfortable situation, right? Because you know, I'm always of the belief not all money is good money. So there's certain things where my moral compass comes into play, and I won't necessarily do something for money, even if it's pretty sizable. I don't know if I'm leaking a jail call for $2,000.
Yeah, like come on.
Like 2,000 isn't
Two
really,
thousand moved you.
and it couldn't even. It might not even be that. It could have been
Yeah.
$500. Honestly, it could have been because maybe they thought that they couldn't have foreseen this was going to be as big of a thing as it was.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter what, like these things shouldn't happen, and that shit is unacceptable. Like this is our law. Like this shit is a joke, really.
Yeah, it's a joke. And like honestly, if I was Mariah, I would be cooking up a lawsuit as we speak.
Yeah, I don't even know what type of charges you could bring upon the jail or anybody like that, but I'm
You
bringing
probably could do
something.
pretty big charges. Like if she looked in the fine print and about like her rights and what should
Yeah,
have been protected, I'm sure it was something crazy. I
because
mean, this wouldn't be able to mess with the trial though, right? Because sometimes stuff like this could mess with the trial integrity. Because it's like, how are we trusting this system who came to protect phone calls? But I don't know if they could go as far as like a mistrial, which no one wants a mistrial anyway. Because who wants to go through all this again?
yeah,
But you know, they try to get the case thrown out. I don't think they can get the case thrown out over this. But
yeah, I don't know if I would even it would be worth bringing that in from a
yeah,
lawyer's perspective, um, but so yeah, it's that's just the angle I'm gonna take, and that's kind of where I'm gonna leave it, and I'll let you go. But yeah, it's just wild to me that these kind of things just come out because it's like this is our law. Like this is supposed to be the
yeah,
governing bodies that make sure everybody does right by others, and it's
yeah,
just like kind of wild that these kind of things are able to come out, even though the conversation nothing was crazy necessarily about things that were discussed.
yeah. But it
It's
was
just
private,
like yeah, it's private. It's a private conversation for God's
and
sakes.
now you got
Like
the whole world judging you,
yeah, it's crazy. But
including me. I'm just kidding. No,
go ahead, tell them why you judging.
let me see my notes to see so I make sure I don't miss anything. But not like I'm necessarily judging Mariah. I'm gonna make that straight. I'm not really necessarily when I'm about to talk about. I'm not necessarily judging her, especially because like I don't agree with this even being leaked. It's not like she wanted the world to know this, so I'm not necessarily judging her. But a lot of people on Twitter are like defending her, and they were like, "Well, if you guys are judging Mariah, like I'm not saying nothing because if only you guys heard what I be saying to my man, like that was a lot of tweets, and like somebody said, they said, why is Mariah the scientist acting like a baby? Y'all don't act like babies with y'all niggas? Question mark. And then she did the emoji with the hiding your eyes, peeking your eyes through. So what I wrote in my notes is we have to unpack why people do that. And you know what? I hate when you say like, let's unpack something. And people are like, cause somebody said that to me like on Twitter, they're like, oh brother. Like, why isn't any time that we like have to discuss things that maybe we should be looking into? It's always, oh, you guys are so dramatic. It's like, this is why we as a people can never really progress. Because anytime it's time to talk about something important, it's, oh brother, here we go.
I think part of the reason is because a lot of the people, and I would actually say 99% of the people that try to initiate those conversations aren't even educated themselves.
Yeah, and they're fake woke.
Yeah, so we're just tired of hearing people always have some sort of like they feel
Something
like
to
they
say.
discovered the wheel, and they're not the people that we should be taking guidance from. So I think people are just tired of that whole fake
I get
woke
that
thing.
because people do hate the whole let's unpack this
Yeah,
because it sounds
the
like
terminology.
yeah.
Like
But I'm being real. Like we really should get to the root of it. Like who cares? Do what you want. Do what you please. There maybe is a reason why people do it, whatever. But if you look at the root cause, what I think it is, calling your boyfriend, husband, any partner, intimate partner, friends with benefits, whatever, calling them daddy is like, when you really think about it, why do we do that? It's just why, And in my opinion, and what research would probably show is that it's linked to, they said sometimes because women will view their husbands or boyfriends as a protector, like a father-like figure. So maybe that's where it comes from. I think that maybe it's rooted in women having daddy issues. I feel like a lot of women, especially in our community, unfortunately don't grow up with dads in the house. And like that might be a stereotype, but there is stats behind like broken families in the Black community, right? Deadbeat dads. A lot of we talk to we know a lot of Black people, right? How many of them have their dad in their life, or maybe parents are still married? Not a lot of them, actually. Now that I think about it, like only maybe a handful of people really have like a good active father in their life. But a lot of people, I think we know, and maybe people that you even grew up with in high school, deadbeat dads or dad just not really active, right? So I think a lot of women, and you know, not just black women, other races too, do have daddy issues. They grew up not having that father figure. So when they get a man, that masculine energy that they're not used to being around, they're so quick to be like, daddy, 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 because that's like, it's like, you know, it might be subconscious for them, but that's what I think it is. And then what makes it, you know, confirm that is the baby voice. Cause why are you doing a baby voice? You know?
Yeah,
It's like we had this conversation about people dressing up as like Girl Scouts and schoolgirls. You bring that up and it's oh brother. But it's real. Like why do you want to dress up as a Girl Scout? A sexy Girl Scout or just a Girl Scout in general. Why do you want to be a Girl Scout? You're 25, you're 30. Why do you want to be a Girl Scout? Just why? Like, but if you keep asking people the why, the root of it, they'll never be able to tell you. They'll start probably stuttering because, or they'll just be like, it's cute. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. Then why are you getting so defensive? It's weird. At the root of it is weird. I think we all have participated in that at one point or
for
another.
sure.
Like, I have a picture on my Facebook when I was like 16 wearing like a schoolgirl outfit with glasses, trying to be, oh, cute schoolgirl. And, you know, granted, I was under 18, so
You were in fact a
I was
schoolgirl.
in fact a schoolgirl, but I haven't done no shit like that since I've been an adult. So it's just like, don't, oh, I think he was looking at me.
No,
Never mind.
wait.
Anyway,
Continue.
I feel like if you really get to the root of like why, that's what it leads to. Because why are you doing a baby voice? Realistically, why are you doing a baby voice? And I think some of us, we just do things because it's subconscious. I don't think none of us even consciously realize we're doing it. Because I find myself sometimes like beeps, but you don't know why you're doing it, and you know it's not necessarily you're trying to be a baby, right?
And
Because
always point out.
sometimes people talk like that to their pets. They talk like that to babies. So it's not like you're necessarily like you might just be like high pitched, like comfy. People say their childlike self is coming out, but you still gotta ask why. So even something that you're so used to doing, you still gotta ask why do you do it.
Yeah, I always tell you to not do that whenever you do that.
Yeah, and I don't really do that much nowadays. Like that was more so like when we was in college, you know, like beep, and like sometimes I randomly just do it, kind of like just being annoying. But it's like, yeah, like that's why I'm calling myself out on it too, because it's like, well, why?
I want to.
Why are you doing the baby voice? And then people, all these comments were like, you don't feel soft and childlike around your man.
Childlike is crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, no, my man don't like children, so no.
To spin back on your point,
Like that's people were saying.
to spin back on your point earlier when you said that women might have absent fathers, I actually think to add to that, I think part of this too is women might have fathers that are like they might not have. They might actually have the opposite of what we would consider to be daddy issues, and they actually have a really strong father figure. I could see a place where women get a man and they have so many of the qualities that they admire about their dad that now they kind of are subconsciously viewing this new man as being their dad too.
That's true.
Because just in the quick little, I mean, aside from what I believe to be true myself through whatever means of knowledge that I might have, they're saying that women tend to call men that just because they're into submitting to male authority figures
submission.
or because they admire the qualities that are father-like that a male might have, which is a little nuts. But yeah, expressing affection, being or indicating that someone is a boss or in charge or a protector, all the qualities that they may like about a father, they're viewing in this male because they might feel that way, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like the same way women like guys with guns because they feel protected, like they feel like they're a child again because that's what your first instance of male affection is from a father. So I think it definitely does come from absent male figures, but I think it comes also from male figures being present because you're gonna feel, not that you feel this way, but you grew up with a dad that had multiple weapons in the house. So if I had that same thing, I could imagine a world where you would feel that same level of protection and similar kind of characteristic, at least from that standpoint, that you feel protected. Like you feel when you go out that same comfort that you would feel when your dad would take you out to different places. So based on what some of the research is saying is that women take that kind of those similarities when they get a new male partner and they try to identify those things because they want to find the things that they liked about their dad that made them feel comfortable. And if this
Yeah,
male
another
can,
man.
and if this man can fit those characteristics, then for whatever reason it comes out sexually, which is,
It's
you
kind of
know,
weird.
it's weird,
And I think, you know what, I
but
think a lot, like, there's a lot of subconscious stuff in this world, right? And I do think that it is some type of, like, if we really want to get deeper, some people do have like incestuous type relationships with their parents
more than they think they do
more than they
because
think they do.
it's not just about the physical part
Yeah.
either.
Like, it gets deep. It gets real deep when you really like look into it. But people do have, like, you know, incestuous type relationships, like admiration. I don't know. It's a very weird thing. This has been since the beginning of time. Like, this is just human nature. It's very weird when we really like look at it deeply. And that's what I wanted to say. Like, when I talk about unpacking, like, I'm just like, I just like to have these conversations because it is interesting. Like, the why we do things. Like, people are so simple minded that they think that whenever you want to get to like the root of it, it's like you're being extra. It's like, no, like, I just like human psychology is so interesting to me. Like, human behavior, culture, all that stuff like that. It's so interesting to me. Like, to see how everything where it comes from, because there is a reason for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just very interesting. And it's like, you know, I just think it's weird. Like, I think it's weird. And then I just feel like people get, you know, they just are extra, like, on the internet. Like, some people are saying, like, oh, you must have never really been in love before because, you know, this is weird. Like, I have some of these tweets right now where it's like, with like this person said, like, y'all don't act like babies, right? Like, with your men. And she's like, no, my man's not a pedophile. So no, like, no, I don't act like babies with him. And someone says, seriously, why would my man want me to mimic a child's voice? Someone says, exactly, because unless you like little kids, that shit would not be arousing. It would be weird.
Yeah.
Because, like, if your girls are like daddy, like, while you're like being intimate, that's a little weird. It's like, I don't like babies, I don't like kids. So why am I getting, like, why would that be arousing to me? And that's why I think it's just so deep when you're like,
Wasn't it that
so
orphan
weird.
movie?
Yeah, the orphan. Yeah.
Yeah, like when she was doing all those like they're trying to touch him,
Yeah.
like
And
he
try
was
to do the
like,
babies.
yeah, and he was weirded out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that's how I feel. It's like very like like when they're
Yeah.
saying about like the arousal part, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
would
when you really
drive
think about it
me
like that, yeah.
insane. I'm like like.
And that's why someone else said after that, like, they're like, is that not crossing the line of age play? Because some people do age play when they have sex. Like, that's like a fetish for people. And I'm like, that's a good point. Like, it is.
Listen.
Like, nobody wants to admit these things, but it's weird.
Yo, send the asteroid here and just get rid of us all. I'm honestly, I don't even just get rid of everybody and let's just reset. Send us into another ice age.
And then this person said, like,
We ain't got no hope.
This person says one thing to call your man daddy, but when you do the childish voice too on top of that, it is weird.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Like, cause I can understand.
The
maybe
daddy
the
figure
term,
thing, yeah, like, because
term.
like you said, like, daddy doesn't always necessarily mean you're calling your dad daddy. It's just like, if you're the father, you're the dad of the household, so you might just give a masculine energy, like dad energy.
Yeah, so
Fine.
like
if you want to say, yeah, my man's daddy, he looks like daddy today, like he's the boss of the house, fine.
and even culturally,
especially if your husband is your dad, right? Like, let's say we have kids, like, you know,
he is the dad.
Your mom probably referred to her dad to you guys as dad.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, she'll refer to her own mom to you as grandma.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's not weird necessarily if you're married and have kids. You say, oh, daddy, you look good today, because that's literally the dad of your kids. Like, you're not necessarily calling him daddy, but he's the dad of the house.
And culturally,
but the baby voice on top of it is what's weird.
Culturally, when you look at, like, when I go to my Dominican barber, they throw poppy and mommy, all that kind of stuff around. So, and they definitely don't use it in the weird sort of context.
Well, they do. Because women be like, hey, bye, poppy, and they're having sex.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, like
they kind of just call each other that. Like,
like, it's not.
Like, not affirmation, but just like.
Yeah, they don't have that weird element to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, yeah, the baby voice is really.
The baby voice is
basically what I'm trying to say. Like that, trying to like be the child to your significant other.
It's weird.
It's weird.
And then, like, even in the video, they said she cleared her throat to make her voice sound more baby. It's like, that's crazy.
And to me, as a male, like, I can't have like, if we had kids, I couldn't have you imitating something that, like, a kid that I have, like, does at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you do the baby voice and say daddy, and I also have a kid that literally has a baby voice and they say daddy.
Yeah, that's creepy.
It's just weird. Like,
because like, it's literally just one the same, like, except one is an actual kid and one's an adult.
And I know obviously you can try to separate those two things, but like for me, I'm just like,
when you
no.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying you. No.
Like, cause I know what you were gonna say, but like you can separate them, but nah, you shouldn't.
Yeah,
it shouldn't work that way.
And they like that's why like like we were saying before, like a man shouldn't get off by his woman acting like a little girl slash baby. Like that's gross. There's no such thing as a
Yeah.
sexy little girl. Cause that's what
Who
they're
said
trying to.
that?
No, this person just in the tweet is saying like there's no such thing as a sexy little girl because like because if people like to say like the whole voice is like, oh, I'm just being sexy. It's like, how you're sounding like a child. Like no voice, no. So unless you have some people, women do have babyish voices. Unless you have a natural baby voice, you're trying to sound like a child. And that's really what it is. You don't want to admit it because that takes another level of self learning, self awareness that most people I feel are not capable of really getting to the root and understanding themselves. That takes too much brain capacity for a lot of people. So they don't want to get to that. And people don't like to shut down their egos or shut down what they're used to. So no one's going to get to the root of why they want to sound like a child to their man.
And I don't want to kill this topic too much
So weird.
further, but another part of that too is that we could really take this topic way deeper, and I didn't think we were going to get this deep. But you could look at it as the male perspective too, of a lot of what people do end up looking for in their partners is the things that their parents did that made them comfortable.
Yeah.
So from the male, you're going to look to a woman that achieves the things that your mom did. And this is assuming you liked your parents. Obviously, some people you might hate your parents and wish you had different parents.
Yeah.
But assuming you did, you're going to look for those things just like, and a woman would look for the fatherly qualities that they like as well. So it's like a lot of what women like. They want a father. Like, because that's what the money thing is too. The first person that was the provider, and obviously there's a lot of single mothers out there that are the providers, just like there's a lot of single fathers out there as well.
Yeah.
But we don't ever talk about them.
Yeah.
But but typically, if you look through common societal standards, the man is going to be the person typically that provides all of the money.
And that's why women always bring up, oh, my grandpa used to pay for my grandma's bills. Like they always bring up the father figures in their life, their grandpas, their dad. My dad did it.
So if you're looking for the man that pays for all your stuff, just like a father would, and is the protector, just like a father is, and they love you like a father would, and all of those different qualities that you like about your dad, if you're looking for that in another male partner, and you're using a baby voice and referring to him as daddy,
that's 2 and 2. What's 2 and plus 2?
You're kind of trying to cosplay a child.
You are. But if you ask somebody who has no self awareness, they'll be like, "No, it's just I feel soft around my man. Your man doesn't make you feel soft." Yeah, my man makes me feel soft and feminine, but he doesn't make me feel like a child. There's a difference. I've talked like this to you 99% of the time. So.
Ugh, I'm getting creeped up by this conversation.
Yeah. This is weird.
I got nothing else to say.
No, but just to add one little thing. You know me, I always got to be on my... I always bring it back to this.
Oh, Jesus Christ, there's more.
No, it's like a slight little ending to the conversation. But, I always got, like, I've been on many conversations about this on my social media, on my YouTube channel, on this podcast. But, like, the whole 50-50 bills situation, right?
We're not doing this.
No, this is very brief. I just think it's funny how people try to say, like, on Twitter, that you've never been in love if you never have felt like that you're a bit childlike and babyish around feeling like acting like babies around your man, right? You were never in love if you didn't act like a baby around your man, right? But for some reason, when the conversation comes to money, you can't possibly be in love if you're burdening your man with bills. Isn't that funny though? Am I reaching here?
A little bit.
No, I'm just saying because like people, when this conversation comes to like my man got to do this, like the burden your husband with every single thing, like especially if you or like your boyfriend, right? Husband, different, right? Different conversation. But people burden their boyfriends. They think boyfriends and even dates, somebody who's not even your man yet, is supposed to pay for all the stuff. But if you were so in love in this society, in this economy, unless your man was doing so well, right? Like extraordinarily well, to try to like, I feel like that burdening of the man with the bills and everything, giving him that burden, and then you don't even want to cook for him and clean for him. Could you rather hire a maid because he has so much money? How are you in love? Because if you're really in love, like that's why even with you be offering to buy me stuff all the time, I'm like nah, like stop. Like even though you do got it like that, right? I still don't want to burden you with that because this economy is crazy. It's crazy out here, and I just want all your money that you work hard for. going to me.
It's not crazy out here for me.
I know,
It
but
might be crazy for y'all. Be
that's the thing.
safe, and I'm
It's
praying
crazy.
for
No, but
you.
that's the thing. It's crazy for the average man out there. So you wouldn't be talking about all this stuff when most men are not making money like that. And they'll burden their, like the Juicy skit we just saw. They'll be bums themselves, burdening their man or having expectations for their man to do all this.
Where did this come
But
from? The woman's slant. This is the
because
woman's
I just saw
slandering
how fun,
topic.
I just saw how funny it was that they say you're not in love if you don't talk like a baby to your man. But you could be in love with a man and burden him with all the bills in this economy. I just think this is funny. How the what do you always say? The post moves, the goal post moves in different conversations. So when it comes to baby voice, you had to be in, everything's so superficial. Cause people's definition of love, they don't, I don't think a lot of people know what love is. So they feel like love is talking in a baby voice, but they don't think love is being a partner and working together. And if my man needs me to pull the weight this month because he's going through something, then I'm pulling. Because we're partners, we're a team, we love each other. We're not using each other for money. They think love is, Daddy, am I your baby? My man buy me a Birkin. He retired me. That's what they think love is. Money and calling man babies.
Don't ever do it again.
No, but that's what they think love is.
Yeah,
like,
but don't even imitate it.
Cause no, but people don't know what it is because they haven't seen it. They haven't seen it, and like you know, they don't grow up in a household and see what love looks like in real time. They see movies, they see TV shows. I don't think most people know, especially in our community. No offense. So I'm not surprised by a lot of these conversations.
Full offense, do better.
No, full offense, and I'm not. That's why I'm not fazed by a lot of stuff that happens on the internet. 'Cause I'm like, these people are just, you know, they're hopeless, and I'm just happy in my situation, and I know what love is, and I feel like we truly have experienced that, and that's all.
Let the lost be lost.
Just weirdos. But don't blame me. You don't got parents together, and I don't got parents together anymore either. They just got divorced, but I did, and I seen it growing up. And I've seen what love looks like. So, and I feel it, what it feels like. But a lot of these people will never truly feel it. Like that TikTok I showed you, where they said that they don't think women really love authentically. They just love whoever's in that position at the time. I believe that. So. Like they kind of just like, you're a placement holder, so you're just that. Like they know what they kind of have this idea of love, and they just, whoever's in that position at that time is just the person that's supposed to love them. So I'm not shocked by these conversations.